Hello, everybody, and welcome to this gentle, beginner-friendly Hatha flow. This is a class that anybody can do, and while it is beginner-friendly, it's still going to be challenging in some ways, but the big focus is on opening up the body, connecting to your breath, and feeling good in your body while you do it. So we'll need a yoga strap for today's practice. If you don't have one, you could grab an old belt. If you have 2 yoga blocks, that'll be very useful as well. If you don't have them, you'll be fine anyway. And so we'll start off placing one yoga block in between the shoulder blades and a second one at the back of the head. And I have it set up here so the head is a little bit higher than the heart. It's a great approach, but if you like to do it differently, feel free. You could have both blocks in the same height, or you could even lay down onto your back as an alternative. So make yourself comfortable, bend your knees, and the block would be below the neck, supporting the upper back in between shoulder blades. Otherwise, you can simply lay on the floor. And take a moment to get comfortable. You can reposition the second block if necessary so it supports the back of the skull. And then you're welcome to let your knees go out to the sides. Try to relax the legs as much as you can. If it's difficult to relax the inner thighs, you may find it helpful to support them, either with yoga blocks or big books, whatever you have around the house, pillows even. Then as your legs gradually get more flexible, the knees come closer and closer to the floor. Try bringing the soles of the feet together. Now take time to connect in with your breath. And start by slowing the breath out. 5 seconds, maybe longer. And slow the breath in. Deep breaths into the belly. If your nasal passages are clear, you can do some deep nose breathing with me, known as Ujjayi breathing. In English, that means extended breath of victory. So this is done by placing the tongue behind the top teeth and partially closing the back of the throat, just like the feeling of whispering. And now on your next inhale breath, lift your arms straight up to the sky, joining the hands together, reach up as high as you can. Then as you exhale, go out to the sides. Feel free to bend the elbows in like a W shape. Inhale, straighten the arms, reach up. And if you have space, exhale out to the sides, keeping the arms straight. So it's up to you, bent or straight. Inhale, reaching up. A few more to go at your own pace. Exhale out to the sides. And one of the nice things about being on yoga blocks is you can get a really nice massage from the yoga block as the shoulder blades move apart and closer together. And then we'll all meet with the arms up. So take a long breath in, reach to the sky. Keep the hands about shoulder width or wider. And take a long exhale breath, connecting in with the core. On your next inhale, start to reach towards the back of the mat. Try to keep the arms straight. And then exhale, slowly bring your arms down by your sides, hands by the hips. Inhale, lift the arms straight up to the sky and towards the back of the mat. Arms by ears. Long exhale, slowly coming back down. And continue with your breath. So you can keep the arm straight through the whole movement. If there's any discomfort in the shoulder, try taking the arms a little bit wider. And one more to go. So at the end of your inhale, as you reach the arms back overhead, pause there. Take about 5 slow breaths. Hover the arms just above the floor in that overhead range. Find just enough engagement through the core that your lower back feels comfortable. Minimal effort. And then bending your knees, place your hands to the back of the head. And then as you exhale, do a little sit-up, engaging your core. And you can roll over onto your other arm. Slide the blocks off to the sides. And then we'll lay down onto the back. Hug the knees in towards the chest. And gently rock side to side. And then place your feet on the floor, about hip width apart, windshield wipers. So with the feet wide, exhale to bring your knees over to the right side. Inhale across center. And then exhale over to the left side. Inhale across center. Exhale to the right. Inhale across center. And exhale to the left. And continue going at your own pace. Massaging the hips while stretching the inner and outer legs, sides of the spine. And then come back to center. Gently engaging your core, bring your knees towards your shoulders. And then bring the knees further apart. So the knees go out to the sides. You might feel a bit of stretch on the inner thighs or the back of the legs. And from there, we'll bring the knees together in the center. And then knees wide apart, making circles with your knees. Touching in the midline if that feels good. And then go wide. Use your hands for assistance. So it's a very gentle effort. And then hug your right knee to your shoulder and straighten the left leg onto your mat. Give that right knee a big squeeze. And feel free to make little movements in the right hip. And you can also make movements in the right ankle. And switch, hug the left knee to the shoulder, straighten the right leg onto the mat, and make little movements in that left hip and left ankle. And then place both feet on the mat. Find your yoga strap, and we'll place the strap around the right foot. So maybe you're holding a towel or a shirt's all good. Hold it with the right hand, and then do your best to straighten the right leg, engaging the front of the thigh. Reach up through the heel, and flex your toes towards your shin to get more into stretching the calf. See how it feels to straighten that leg, and then very gently pull back on the strap. And try turning your ankle side to side. And then ankle centered, pull back on the strap a little bit more. And we'll start to make some big circles with the right hip. So you can exhale to go out to the right. Inhale, come across the center, halfway to the left. And then exhale out to the right again, gently pulling back. Inhale across center. Exhale out to the right. And continue exploring the movement. Big circles. And then bring the leg over towards the left side. You're going to take the strap with your left hand, and then slowly bring both of your legs over to the left, pulling back on the strap. You can create a little counteraction of taking your right hand to the hip crease and trying to roll the right thigh outwards away from the belly while pulling back with the left arm, using the strap. And breathe. You can create that action without using your right hand by engaging the glutes, the buttock muscles. And then try opening up that right arm like a wing, open the chest, and breathe deeply. Slowly come back to center. Bend the knees. And we'll take the strap around the left foot so you can hook up the ball of that foot or use your towel or shirt, whatever you're using. Try to straighten the left leg, resting your right foot down. And as you gently pull back, explore turning your ankle from left to right, side to side. Try to keep the leg straight by engaging the quadricep muscles in the front of the left thigh. And then centering the ankle, engage the thigh. Pull back a little bit more using your left arm. And then explore movement, opening to the left on a long exhale. Inhale, come across the center, halfway to the right. And exhale out to the left. Big circular movements with the hip. So this is about more than just getting into the hamstring. We're also getting into the hips and the adductors, the inner thigh muscles. And then take that strap with the right hand. And on a long exhale, we'll bring the legs over to the right. So you can bring that right thigh to the floor. Left leg will be hovering a bit. And then as you gently pull back on the strap, try to keep the legs straight. You can add to it by taking your left hand to your hip crease and rolling that left thigh outwards, away from the belly, all the while pulling back on the strap. And then engaging the glutes, try taking that left arm out to the side, a few more breaths, opening up the left chest while squeezing the left buttock into the center. And then very slowly bend the knees, come back to center. We'll take the right leg up again. Loop a strap around the right foot. Again, holding the strap with the right hand. So we'll hang out in the center this time. Do your best to straighten the leg first and then pull back on the strap. Engage the front of the thigh. And then relax for a moment. Take the strap with your left hand. And you're just going to hold it there without pulling or anything. And then take the right hand to the front of your right thigh. You're going to bend that knee. And then press your thigh against your hand as hard as you can. We'll take a few breaths there. So you're looking to feel your hip flexor muscles activating. We often hear about how they get tight from too much sitting, which is true. But they also tend to be underused in the full range of motion. And that's really the key, is activating those muscles in their full range. So by bending the knee, we're taking any tightness in the hamstrings out of it. Keep pressing the thigh against the hand. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Now go ahead and straighten that leg up to the sky. Notice if there's any change in the range of motion. And we'll take hold of that strap with one or both hands, gently pulling back with the legs straight. Take about 5 slow breaths here. So the quadriceps act to straighten the leg. Only one of your quads flexes the hip. There's other muscles that also flex the hip. Most of your quads are acting to straighten the knee joint. And on your next exhale, we'll open out to the right side, press your bent knee out to the left side as a counterbalance. Try to keep your left buttock on the floor. That's a good sign that your pelvis is level. So the fronts of your hips, those are just the 2 sides of the pelvis. And then we pull back with the right arm. Try to keep the legs straight. And then inhale back to center. Pull back a few more breaths in the middle. Notice any changes. If you are feeling looser, you might explore straightening the left leg towards the front of the mat. That gives a nice counterbalance. And then remove the strap and let go. Bring the strap around the left foot now. And just explore how much you can straighten that leg and then how far it goes up to the sky, keeping it straight. We'll take a few breaths there to start. And then holding the strap loosely with your right hand, you're going to bend that left leg and then actively press the left thigh bone against the hand. And then keep on going. We'll take about 5 breaths here. So strongly press the hand and the thigh bone against each other. It's really the thigh bone pressing towards the chest that's going to involve active hip flexion, which is the key thing to train here. Get 3 more breaths. 2. 1 more. Try to bring the thigh even closer to the ribs. And then soften the effort. Try to straighten that left leg again. And notice any changes in leg position. Maybe your thigh bone is closer to your belly, even with the legs straight. And we'll hang out in the center. About 5 slow breaths. You could be holding the strap with one or both hands here. One more breath. And on your next exhale, open that leg out to the left, bent knee out to the right as a counterbalance. Try to keep that right buttock on the floor. And breathe. Quadriceps strong. And then come back to the center. Again, we'll breathe in the center, pulling back on the strap. Notice any changes. If you're feeling quite loose, try straightening the right leg out more. And then bend the knee and let go. And we'll do one more. Bring the right leg up again, taking the strap around the foot. So same principles. Straighten the leg. And then pull back just a little bit. Now pull back super gently so that you can point your foot up against the strap. You might have to hold it a little bit looser, which is fine. Left hand holds the back of your head. And then exhale, use your abs. Lift the head and shoulders. Use your hand to help tuck the chin and hug the elbow in towards the head. And we'll take 5 breaths here, working the abs. Point the foot against the strap, creating a gentle resistance in both directions. So the arm is pulling back a little, and then we're matching that effort by pointing the foot into the strap and trying to straighten the leg. You might actually feel that the back of the leg contracts a little bit. The back of the right leg even. One more breath. And then inhale, relax your head down. Exhale, open to the right side. If you're quite loose, you might try to straighten that left leg now. One more breath. Inhale back to center. Again, pointing the foot, bow forward on an exhale. You can support your head. Inhale, relax the head down. And then taking the strap with the left hand, spinal twist, we'll bring that leg all the way over to the left again. Just like the first one we did. Open the right arm out to the side. 5 breaths. And then bending the knee, let go of the stretch and come back to center. Bend both knees. And let's take a moment to relax the arms, circle the wrists. And then left side's our last one. So take the strap around the ball of the left foot, right leg bent. Try to straighten your left leg, engaging the quads. Pull back very gently, and then give it some slack so you can point the foot into the strap. And create a little bit of resistance in both directions, pushing the foot up against the strap while gently pulling back with the arm. So there's no change in position, but there's an engagement here. Right hand supports the back of the head. Exhale, hug the bicep in by the head and bow forward, lifting the head and shoulders as much as you can comfortably. Keep pressing out through the foot, pulling back with the strap. 5 breaths. If you're a bit looser, you might straighten both legs with the right heel on the floor. It's quite difficult. Be where it feels good. And with an inhale, relax your head down slowly. Exhale, open your left leg out to the side. Keep the right buttock rooted into the earth. 5 breaths. And then inhale back to the center. Take the strap with your right hand. Exhale to twist, bringing the leg over to the right side. Looking over the other shoulder. Gaze over the left arm. Try to squeeze the inner thigh muscles. Squeeze the left glute in to roll the hip out a little bit. Deep breath into the belly. And then slowly come back to center. And we'll let go, setting the strap aside. Bend your knees. Gently hug the knees in towards your shoulders or chest. And you're welcome to gently rock side to side as well. Now for this next one, we'll draw the right knee towards the shoulder. This is called half happy baby. Lift your right ankle towards the sky so the knee is bent, like maybe 90 degrees, maybe even more than that. You can either take hold of the foot with one or both hands, or take a strap around the foot if you have any difficulty at all reaching. It does help to turn the right thigh outwards. And then as you pull back gently, you can keep your head on the floor, draw your knee outside of the rib cage, way off to the right, turning out from the hip joint. So it's the thigh bone turning out in the hip socket that brings the knee out. And if you're feeling pretty comfortable here, you might explore tucking your chin, engaging your abs, and lifting the head and shoulders off of the floor. A few more breaths. And with your next inhale, relax your head down. Remove the yoga strap. And then bring your right ankle over the left thigh. This is called a recline pigeon position. You can use your right hand to press the right thigh forward. Option 2, reach your right arm in between your legs and clasp hold of the back of the left thigh with both hands. And then you can explore pulling your left leg in towards the belly, using your forearm to press the right thigh away from the belly, externally rotating that right hip. Main thing is that your right knee is happy, it's comfortable. The stretch is intended more through the right buttock region, right hip. Good. One more breath. And then bring the arms out to the sides like wings. Pressing into your left foot, lift your hips and move them over towards the right side. And with an exhale, lower your knees over to the left. You're welcome to use your left hand to gently pull down on the right thigh. Stretching into the outer hip. Maybe you feel some length through the belly, or low back region. Try to breathe into that length. Deep breath through the belly. One more breath. And inhale back to the center. Center your pelvis on the mat. And take a moment. And then we'll switch sides. So half happy baby, you can draw that left knee towards your shoulder. And then left ankle over the knee, opening the knee joint. You might be holding the foot with one or both hands or taking a strap around the foot. And explore turning out from the left thigh bone in the hip socket. Draw that knee out to the side towards the floor and breathe. Totally good to keep your head on the floor. If you'd like that extra challenge to the abdominals as well as the muscles in the front of the neck, you can tuck the chin and then use an exhale to lift the head and shoulders, engaging the abs. Try to keep the back of the neck long, front of the neck short and strong. A few more breaths. And next inhale, relax your head down. Exhale, place your left ankle over the right thigh for reclined pigeon position. So you could simply lay there and use your left hand to press against the inner left thigh. Option 2 is take that hand to the back of your right leg, clasping hands around the back of that thigh. And now you can use your left forearm to press the left thigh forward instead, while pulling the right leg in towards the belly. And be sure to explore. Dynamic movement can be really helpful for getting insight into where our tight points may be. Dynamic movement also creates a little bit more heat in the body and involves a little bit more strength to move around. And then once you do find a bit of stretch, you can hang out with it calmly. Cultivate stillness. And then twisted variation, so bring your right foot to the floor, keeping the knee bent. Press into that foot to move your pelvis to the left edge of the mat, and then bring both knees over towards that right side. And that's where you can use your right hand to gently press down on that top leg, while at the same time leaning into the left shoulder, bringing the back of that shoulder towards the floor. A few more deep, slow breaths. And then come back to the center. Center your pelvis on the mat. And hug both knees into your shoulders. From there, place the soles of the feet on the floor just in front of your sitting bones. Bridge pose. Roll the heads of your shoulders back into the floor, opening the chest up. Elbows in by your ribs. Try to engage between your shoulder blades. And on your next exhale, engage the core, lift the hips, scoop the tailbone forward. Inhale, slowly come down. And repeat that 5 times. Exhale, press through all parts of the foot, lift the hips. Inhale, slowly come down. Try to keep the legs parallel, hip width. Exhale, come up. Engage the buttock muscles. Inhale, slowly come down. 2 more to go. Exhale, come up. Inhale, come down. Last one. Exhale, lift the hips. And hold the pose. Wiggle your upper arm bones closer, elbows closer. And you can hang out there with the palms facing each other, or you can try interlacing the fingers behind the back as an option. And we'll take 5 more breaths. Now engage your buttocks. Press your tailbone forward towards your knees, scooping under. And then try engaging the fronts of your legs, your quadriceps, and they can actually lift you a little bit higher in this pose. But keep scooping the tailbone forward. Lengthen your low back. And exhale, come all the way down nice and slow. And just take a moment to feel the residue. And then draw your knees in. Engaging your core, we'll roll up to sitting. So you can bring your hands near the front of the mat. If you have your yoga blocks, you can actually take your yoga blocks near the front of the mat as well. Just so they're there to make your arms a little bit longer. And then we'll press back either to table position, or you can go into downward dog, bending the knees, lifting the hips, pressing the hips back, and take a few breaths. Feel free to move your hips side to side in either pose. Any other little movements. And then from either pose, inhale to lift your right leg up, bend the knee, and make circles with the hip joint, going out to the right, and then up to the sky. Engage the buttocks. Slow, deliberate movement, especially as you go out to the right and then upwards. Now with your next exhale, step outside of the right hand. Now feel free to bring your forearms to the yoga blocks. This brings the floor a little bit closer. If you're able to get the forearms to the floor, you can do it that way instead. And this is called the Gecko Lunge. So pressing through the base of your left toes, straighten the left knee, picking it up off the floor. And explore going forward and back. You could have the sole of the right foot fully on the floor. Another option is turning the foot out, moving from the hip joint. So maybe it's 45 degrees, maybe it's less than that. You can play around with it. As you push through the forearms, think about spreading the shoulder blades wide apart. If you're on the hands, that's fine too. And then we'll lower the left knee to the floor. Take the left hand down to the yoga block or the floor, and then turn out from your right hip, pivoting out over the heel, flex toes to shin, and you can very gently press your right hand against the inner thigh there. If you like an extra challenge, try picking up the left shin. Come onto the front of the thigh instead of the kneecap and engage the buttock. From there, you might even catch the foot with your right hand and then relax the effort to pull the foot in towards you. I've been doing quite a lot of back bending and walking myself, so I have a bit too much of a cramp to be demonstrating that kind of thing today. And then come back to center. You can use your yoga blocks. Lean back. Try to straighten your right leg and feel free to bring it a little bit closer to the middle of the mat. And with blocks under your hands, you could use the floor as an option. Take an inhale to lift your heart up. Try to straighten the leg. And then exhale, see how much you can fold forward, leading with the heart, bending the elbows. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bend the arms, folding forward. And do that a few more times. And then pause where you feel a comfortable stretch and breathe. If you prefer to sit towards your back heel, that's another really nice way of doing it that also incorporates more of a stretch through the sole of the left foot. Same principles. About 5 more breaths. Good, 1 more. And then press through your hands, bend the front knee again. Take the blocks forward, and we'll go back to table or downward dog. You can move your hips side to side. If you're in down dog, feel free to walk the dog. Any little movements. And then lift your left leg and bend the knee. Make some big circles in that left hip, going out to the side, up to the sky. And on your next exhale, step left foot outside of the hand. And you can take the yoga block inside of your left foot, other block underneath your right hand. And then from there, either stay on your hands or go to your forearms, Gecko Lunge. Straighten the right knee and explore going forward and back, pushing off the base of the right toes. Feel your way through it. If you're a bit looser, try one or both forearms instead. Get a few more breaths here. And then bring the right knee down and we'll twist. So you're welcome to pivot out over the left heel, flexing toes to shin. You can gently press your left hand against the inner thigh, see how it feels. Option 2 is leaning forward, pick up the right shin, and then try reaching for the foot using your left hand. About 3 more breaths. Good, and then let go. Come back to center. We'll lean back. You're welcome to bring that left foot a little bit closer to the center line. And then take a breath in, try to straighten that left leg, lift the heart. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Again, inhale, lift the chest, lift the chin. And exhale, fold. And a few more to go at your own pace. And you could be folding from the hip, or you could be folding from the spine. I recommend folding from the hip first, which means keeping your back straight. And then if there's still room to explore, fold from the spine. So it's a little bit safer for the lower back that way, especially if you're someone who identifies as having tight hamstrings. And then we'll hold the posture. So maybe you're staying forward, maybe you're going into the toe squat variation, pushing down through the base of the right toes, sitting on the heel. Take about 5 more breaths. And then inhale, slowly come forward, bend your knee. Exhale, back to table position. And then we'll lay down onto the belly. Bring your forearms out to the sides. Bend your knees and bring your heels together. So we'll have the heels touching, knees wide apart. And then engaging your buttocks, try to lift your knees off of the floor. From there, try to lift your arms a little bit higher, squeezing the shoulder blades with this cactus shape. And breathe. One more breath. Hands to the floor under your forehead. Exhale to rest your head down. Relax the legs, bringing the big toes to touch, knees apart. And take a few breaths there, just resting on your belly, breathing into your belly. Round 2. Heels together, knees wide apart. Inhale, lift the knees as much as you can. Lift the arms out to the sides, thumbs up, and breathe. Imagine holding bowls of salad in your arms. Or bowls of soup, so you're supinating the forearm. And exhale, come down, hands under shoulders. Press up onto your knees with a strong core. And then we'll go into puppy stretch. So with your pelvis just over your knees, you can bring the hands forward. And then relax the head down. You're welcome to rest on your forearms. Try to keep the elbows close to your head as you rest on the forearms. If you have yoga blocks, you're welcome to try this other posture called heart opening pose. Anahatasana in Sanskrit. Sounds way cooler. Most things do in Sanskrit. So in this variation, you can bring the elbows near the middle of the block. As the heart drops, your upper arm bones will be supported. Same principles. Try to keep the elbows close to your head. This is allowing you to passively explore your range of motion. You can also explore engaging your abs to draw the front ribs in, supporting the low back, and that can direct the opening more into the shoulders and the chest. And that works in any of the variations. And then reach the hands forward, straightening the arms. Slowly start to come off the blocks, one hand at a time. And then we'll bring the legs out in front, setting up for Tortoise Pose. So you can have your feet together, about 1.5 feet in front of you. And from there we take the arms underneath the legs, catching the shins or maybe holding the feet. So maybe your arms are able to support the legs, which allows you to relax them. Otherwise, you might consider putting a yoga block underneath each thigh. And as over time, as your hips open up more, the blocks go closer and closer to the knees until eventually they disappear. Take a breath in to look up. And with the breath out, relax your head down, relax the body. Allow the chin to drop in, allow the back of the spine to lengthen. And take some deep breath into your back. Soften the belly. And try to feel the breath. Maybe you can feel it expanding into your low back as you breathe in. Maybe one side of the back feels tighter. Try to breathe into that side. And then engage the glutes. Press the heels into the ground. With a long inhale, start to roll up. Bring your legs together, straightening them out. And then a long exhale to lay down onto your back into relaxation. So you can bring the feet wide apart. Soften the shoulders down the back. Scoop the tailbone towards the front of the mat by digging into the heels for a moment. And then relax your arms by your sides. Notice the breath through the nostrils. And take some slow breath through the belly. And let your forehead relax. Relax the jaw. Relax the back of the throat. And then bring awareness down into the neck, completely letting go. Relax the jaw, shoulders, Completely relax the arms by your sides. Relax the hips, both legs, hands and feet. And then closing the eyes, completely relax the whole body. And take all the time you can for relaxation today. See, we're just a minute past 1, so I'll leave you to enjoy relaxation on your own. Thank you very much for joining me. And just to note that Thursday at noon, there will be no class, and instead I'll be doing class on Friday at noon. So I hope that works for you. If it doesn't, let me know. I'm open to suggestions. And thanks so much, everybody. Peace. Enjoy this beautiful day.